Well, I don't think it will escalate into real conflict at this point, but it is an escalation. So let's talk about the context in which these missile launches, these air drills are happening. Essentially, the massive summit diplomacy of 2018 that followed the fire and fury year of 2017 when North Korea was finishing an ICBM capability. That diplomacy fell apart by the time he got to early 2019 at a Hanoi summit between Trump and Kim. We've been in a stalemate on talks between North Korea and the United States since then. And now that we have a conservative government in Seoul and the Yoon administration, we have a harder line position on inter-Korean relations. So everything is solidifying in terms of old hostilities between North and South, and between U.S. and North Korea. While North Korea is trying to advance significantly its capabilities, its nuclear and its missile capabilities. North Korea announced a lot of these ambitions in January 2021 is when they announced them at the Korean Workers' Party conference. In 2022, they've been on a concerted missile campaign, and on 2 November in Seoul time, they launched more than 24 missiles, short-range missiles, both sides of Korea. And what's escalatory about this, a couple of things. At least one landed across the informal maritime border, the northern limit line. It's also an escalation in the sense that North Korea, long having said they wouldn't attack South Korea, is clearly launching these to intimidate and show that they can attack South Korea. Now, why is North Korea doing this? North Korea is doing this for two reasons. One, first, they want to make sure that they build up the most capable, diverse arsenal that will ensure regime survival and ultimately allow Kim Jong-un to have coercive power from this arsenal in his mind. The second is to essentially create a pretext for doing that in the form of putting leverage on Seoul and on the Yoon administration, but also on the United States and on others that opposes the resumption of missile drills. And these air drills that we see from the U.S. and South Korea are a significant upgrade in the kind of air power that, by the way, North Korea doesn't have. And it's an exercise that clearly intimidates North Korea. So North Korea is showing its objections through kinetic means, but it's really doing them as a pretext to advance their research and development on their missile program.
Will the situation likely draw in other allies of the U.S., and will this distract the U.S. from containing China's aggression, especially towards Taiwan?
North Korea has already drawn together South Korea, Japan, and the United States in a way we haven't seen for at least 5 years. And I think this relationship now has ambitions to grow well beyond anything we've seen in the history of U.S., South Korea, and Japan relations in recent decades. So this is a good sign for the allies. At the moment, what Seoul and Tokyo are working on is resuming the kind of close rapport they had on information sharing and working on humanitarian assistance and search and rescue, working on anti-submarine warfare to a level that they had achieved before 2017, which is when there was a downturn in South Korea and Japan relations. And North Korea's hostilities, as well as, by the way, China's hostilities and Russia's hostilities, are all making South Korea and Japan realize that their common interests are so great that they need to work faster to improve their relationship. And this is moving at fairly quick speed among the governments